Well, hello random YouTube people. If you clicked on this video, you're probably like me and want to be able to move a sprinkler head. I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. You can see this sprinkler is spraying towards the house, and what it's doing is it's damaging my backflow preventer. I had previously replaced this in a different video, so this is my old backflow preventer. You can see all the corrosion that it caused by that sprinkler head spraying on it. Not only that, the overspray of water is causing a lot of unwanted weeds to grow in what should be a flower bed area. So what we're going to do in this video is completely remove that sprinkler head from the fence line and pull it back to the curbing you can see so the sprinkler head sprays in the other direction. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. Subscribe. So as mentioned, I'm going to move this sprinkler head from the fence line 7 feet the other direction so it lines up with the curbing and sprays the other direction towards the fence, instead of the water spraying from the fence line to the house. I'm going to start by digging out the old problem sprinkler head, and as I do this, I don't want to dig too deep in the ground, because if you stand on the shovel and jump on it, you run the risk of breaking the sprinkler line itself, and then you'll have even more problems. So you can see I've dug up just this little square of sod right in front of the sprinkler head, and I'm going to pull that off, and I'm going to dig a small hole around the sprinkler head so I can find where the sprinkler line goes. I'm not quite down to the base of the sprinkler, so digging a little more. Now when digging around the sprinkler head, go slow. You don't want to do any damage. You're going to see how I accidentally do some damage later on, so pay attention. Well, my shovel hit something. Let's go check. That's the sprinkler line, and look, it's going in this particular direction towards the house. So I'm going to continue digging in that direction. The direction that sprinkler line is pointing is back towards my valve box, so I'm going to keep digging in that direction. I could just at this point dig a new sprinkler line and go from here over to where I want to go, but that'll just add more sprinkler line and less pressure in the system overall, and when it comes to blowing it out, it's not going to be great. So I'm just going to go ahead and follow the line back to the valve box, all while recovering from ACL surgery. And you never know what you're going to find along the way. It looks like there's a connection piece that hooked these two together, and that just busted off. So I didn't shovel right through it. This little weak connection piece just busted off. So let's keep digging out this line. And don't dig too far at one time. You can see this line starting to go in a completely different direction than I was digging. So only do about a foot chunks of sod at a time, just so that you know that it's going in the right direction so you can follow the line. Now you can see I've gone ahead and put the sod back where I previously dug. I'm doing this along the way so I don't forget where the individual sod pieces went, because I don't want to try to puzzle piece myself back together as I fill the trench in later. As I dig each section, I'm pulling out the sprinkler line along the way. And don't pull too hard, or you'll lift the line right out of the ground. I think this line runs under something else, and it was stuck, so when I was trying to pull it through, it just snapped right off. Again, you just never know what you're going to find. The person that originally put this sprinkler line together really did like to use these little union pieces, and when I pulled the line, it just popped right on off. Pay attention to this though, because we are going to add some union pieces later on, but we're not going to add them the whole length of the sprinkler line like this person did. This guy's huge. Disrupting his environment. So I've made some good progress. I put all the grass back from what I've been digging, and I'm pretty far now. I am almost to the curb and my final destination. Once I get to the edge of the curb, I'm going to actually just take the existing line that I have in my hand now and run it out this way and put the sprinkler head over there. This, of course, so that the water sprays towards the fence and not from the other direction. Because you can see as the water's been spraying over into this planter or flower bed area, it keeps growing these awful weeds or clovers. And it also was making my sprinkler box really, really dirty. It was clean when I first initially put this over here, but you can see how dirty it's getting because of that water spraying in this direction. Enough narration, let's keep going. Well, I followed the sprinkler line as far as it goes. It ends up running into what's called a sprinkler saddle. That's this blue piece right here. It connects to the main line and sends water off in this direction. I'm going to put a different picture of this saddle right up on the screen here so you can get a better look at it. Here you can see a clip from my other video called All Things Sprinkler, and you can see on the main sprinkler line that comes off the valve there are these orange saddles. So a saddle attaches to the main line and then sends the water to an individual sprinkler head, which is what you see here. We've dug out to the sprinkler saddle. This is connected to the main line, and this just branches off of the main line. So at this point, since I'm pretty close to the curbing, I'm just going to start to move the line this way. This will pivot on the saddle. It will rotate. Here just showing how the saddle connection is going to rotate like that. Sweet, so we're going to send the line this way. Probably put the head right about there, which means I'm going to probably snip this line off anyways, even though I do have a connection right here I can connect to. Before I go any further, I put some grass down on the line to hold it in place while I fill this area in with the dirt that I took out so I can put back the grass. And just fast forwarding while I put all of that dirt and sod back where it came from. Well, this is what I have so far. I think I want the sprinkler head to be right here, so I'm going to have to cut this line back down so that this whole section can sit underground. So I have to dig down again about 7 inches or so and connect this line with this one. I'm going to try to salvage this connection by just simply taking a razor blade and slowly peeling this back so I can reuse this to connect this line to this and then bury it, and we should be good. Now prepping the area where the sprinkler head is going to be by just digging down deep enough for the sprinkler to sit in the ground. So here's my hole. This is where the sprinkler is going to go. You can see I have it right here. I'm going to put it close to the curbing and down a little bit. And so now I need to figure out where I need to cut this line and where I need to cut this line so that I can merge them together. And to make the cut, I'm going to use this nice cool pipe cutter. I'll just use this extra piece just to show you. Put it on here and you just squeeze. And it just slices right through the line. And it makes a nice straight, even cut. So I'm going to do that for here and here. And here I go making the cut. I'm going to do about right here. And I'm going to try to cut this out with a razor blade. I'm not going to show that on the video, but I'm going to make some straight line cuts and go slowly so I don't mess up the union piece. And I'll go ahead and put one end back in here, and then the other end I'll put on this side after I cut this line. You can see I sliced through it with a razor blade, and I can just pop this out with my hands now, like this. There you go. And I can reuse this piece instead of having to go to the store and buy a whole new one. I'm going to also go ahead and get rid of this dirt while I'm at it, just to make sure that this is a nice watertight connection. Also going to wash this out so it's nice and clean so I don't have any dirt on the inside of this connection piece, because we don't want dirt in our sprinkler system. Off camera, you can see I have already inserted one end of that connection piece, also called a nipple piece, into the main sprinkler line. Now I'm going to twist on the other sprinkler line that has the sprinkler head on it. Now I'm going to sit and twist those two sprinkler lines together till you can't even see that connection piece anymore. So it just looks like one straight piece of pipe. With those two sprinkler lines now twisted and connected together and the sprinkler line level with the ground and in the right place, now is the time to start burying it again. And of course, I could not do any of this without my professional irrigation manager. And of course, replacing the sod. I'm going to need to cut out a little knock where the sprinkler head is because that wasn't there before. Now that the sprinkler is completely buried underground again, the very last thing I'm going to do is pull up the sprinkler head to make sure that it's going to point and spray in the right direction. You'll notice at the top of these sprinkler heads there's a little slit. So I'm going to grab from the base and twist it around until the slit is pointing towards the grass instead of back towards the house. Before I turn on the water, I'm going to landscape this a little bit with some leveling sand. Now, that's not an important part of this project. I was just informing you because it's going to look a little bit different when I go to turn on the sprinklers that the grass has been leveled with some sand. Everything is now done. The sprinkler head is officially moved from the fence line to the curbing. The sand has been leveled and the grass is prepped and ready to go. Let's go ahead and turn on the sprinklers just to make sure everything's working good. Setting the sprinkler control box into test mode. And let's go check it out. And you can see the sprinkler water is going through the lines just as it should. The sprinkler water is spraying away from the house towards the fence, on the grass just as it should be. Other than adjusting the sprinkler head a little bit so it's not spraying onto the curbing, everything is just as it should be. And that, random YouTube people, is just how easy it is to move a sprinkler head. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you find my content relatable or informative, Please give this video some kind of interaction, such as smashing that like button, commenting, and sharing this video with all of your friends. This helps the YouTube algorithms know how to share my content with other random people just like you. And to be sure you don't miss out on future bodacious content, subscribe. Subscribe.